What would you do with 8 terabytes of SSD? The question is, would you even get it? Now, the thing is, it's something particularly specific when we're aiming for high capacity of M.2 SSDs, and usually it would be most likely for games or for applications, and some would use them for fast storage in terms of editing and rendering videos, because after all, some M.2 SSDs have issues when you place your, I don't know, recordings like I do on certain M.2 SSDs, and when you try to render the video, the M.2 SSD either gets too hot or you have some sort of an issue because, well, they're too slow, and thus render process takes forever. It doesn't matter what kind of CPU or GPU you have, it just takes forever. So today we're going to talk about Sabrent Rocket Q 8 terabytes of M.2 SSD Gen 3 x 4. This is QLC NAND SSD, which means a lot, and I'll explain that during the video, of course. But today I'm going to show you my new upgrade, and this is going to be placed in my build, which is also going to get a complete makeover with some new parts, definitely, and especially this one, which will be my main storage for all the videos that I record. So because after all, I am recording with Blackmagic camera that takes up loads of space each video, and especially those time-lapse videos that go up to, well, 500 gigabytes per video. So yeah, today this is going to be quite interesting because we're going to run loads of benchmarks through a couple of different applications that run synthetic benchmarks, and we're going to check out the speeds. That's the thing that I'm quite interested in. And does it heat up? That's also important. Will the passive heatsink be enough to keep it steady from thermal throttling and stuff like that? We're going to check it out. So let's go. Now, first of all, as in every video, we're going to do unboxing, and I'm already prepared for Sabrent products because they always pack their products quite, I would say, top of the line, without a doubt. So here we have, well, it's a standard box, and then we have a small metal box with some sort of instruction manual and basically some information that you need to know about the M.2 SSD. Well, it's minimalistic, you don't need anything else. We have the Sabrent Rocket Q NVMe PCI 3 x 4 M.2 2280 SSD with 8 terabytes of storage. Now, this is just insane. Of course, when we take into consideration the price and everything and compare it, if you really need 8 terabytes, this is a great way to go. If you don't need, of course, the price is too expensive for everybody. So yeah, I mean, the QLC technology really does stand up when we're talking about this, because it gives you an opportunity with high capacity and reduces cost. So let's start from the beginning. This is a TLC based storage. Well, basically TLC is 3 bits per cell, and it's based on TLC, but it's actually QLC NAND, which is next level of evolution of SSDs because it reduces the cost and increases the space. And why is that? Because here we have a QLC SSD, which is quadruple level cell, and this means 4 bits per cell. This is why you get so much capacity on one M.2 SSD. Of course, this is two-sided SSD because you have chips on both sides. It supports trim and smart commands, supports ONFI 2.3, 3.0, 3.2 and 4.0. It has bed block management and over provisioning. When we're talking about the controller and some more details, you have Sabrent RKT303 flash controller. When we're talking about the chips, we have Micron QLC NAND. Then some numbers. We have maximum read speeds up to 3400 megabytes per second and max write speeds up to 3000 megabytes per second. Then random 4K QD32 IOPS read is 550K, random 4K QD32 IOPS write is 680K. And then we also need to mention the power consumption. So we have during the read 5.6 watts, and during the write 6.5 watts. Operational temperature is from 0 to 70 degrees Celsius, storage temperature from -40 to approximately 85 degrees Celsius. Mean time before failure is 1.8 million hours. Shock resistance 1500 G, and TBW is 1800. So what do you get with Rocket Q M.2 SSD in general? First of all, you get faster, cooler and quieter M.2 SSD, and you might think, yep, you get this with all M.2 SSDs. Well, first of all, it's still Gen 3x4, and we have Gen 4x4, which I also reviewed from Sabrent, that go up to 7,000 megabytes per second. But here we have something different in terms of storage capacity. So for instance, you go with conventional hard drives, which of course take more space when we're talking about computers, NAS or stuff like that. And of course they're 3 times cheaper, but they can never achieve these speeds that M.2 SSDs can. And basically I do have two 8 terabyte hard drives in my NAS running right there at the back, and there's something that they're just there for storage. They're just going to be used for that, placing data that I'm not going to use constantly. Just eventually when I need something, I pull it from the NAS. This is something that you use frequently, which gives you of course reliability, durability, and of course speed that you can't get from your hard drives or 2.5-inch SSDs. This is something that can be also used in external enclosures, or you could definitely place them in some PCI Express cards. Maybe go with write 0, write 1, depending on what you're after, and of course how much SSDs are you going to place in that PCI Express slot. So yeah, that's something to discuss in a different topic and everything else, but this is what Sabrent Rocket Q gives you guys. So yeah, now when we're talking about the speeds, I tested, as I stated at the beginning of the video, in a couple of applications that run standard read-write benchmarks. And for instance, in Crystal Disk Mark, we have read speeds going up to 3440 megabytes per second, which is just a bit above what they stated on their website. And then with the write speeds, we have 3030 megabytes per second, which is also above what they stated. Now, of course, in other benchmarks, we're going to get quite different results. And for instance, in SSD benchmark, we actually get quite lower speeds, which I sometimes don't include in my final results, just in terms because loads of other applications show the exact as they stated, and they basically prove what they stated, that the speeds of the SSDs can actually run this fast. And then we have the SSD, which kind of just lowers it down in synthetic benchmark. And then also we have Autodisk benchmark, which also sometimes can act funny, but in Autodisk benchmark, I for instance realized for some SSDs it can thermal throttle them, in that terms that you can see fluctuations in speeds, read and write, and it gives you kind of opinion, does that SSD actually work quite nicely or right, or can you rely on it? So for instance, right here what I can see in Autodisk benchmark is the consistency of read and write speeds exactly all the way, except for this 500 megabytes, which I honestly don't know what happened there, but everything else, all the other speeds are totally consistent and going throughout the test without any issues. So there wasn't any thermal throttling, that's for sure. I did use a motherboard that actually has a passive heatsink, so that kept it cool, a bit cooler. When we're talking about additional information that you need to know, it's standard size M.2 SSD, so 2280, and you can place it in any M.2 slot on your motherboard that supports Gen 3x4. This will definitely be a cool addition to my build, because for instance, I'm currently running a 1 terabyte SSD on the segment where I place my recordings, and even though the speeds are great and the render doesn't break at any point and it doesn't slow down at any point, There's some time that I actually have low capacity on that SSD, of course, because recordings can take up to 150 to 200 gigabytes, and then we have time-lapse videos that take up to 500 gigabytes. Preparing everything before the actual production and stuff like that, this will definitely come in handy to have loads of files, actually loads of video storage for my videos. And that's basically what this SSD in my terms will be used. Now, if for instance you want to definitely install whole Steam library on this M.2 SSD, why not? You could do that as well. It gives you loads of storage. And it comes in variety, so you can actually buy it with 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 4 terabytes, and this one right here, 8 terabytes. So quite interesting and quite amazing to actually see such a storage on such a small, let's call it chip, because, well, less cables, more storage, cooling, yeah, just outstanding. So guys, I'm definitely sure that not all of you will find the price appealing, since not everybody needs 8 terabytes of M.2 SSD storage, but that is all up to you to decide. I'm going to place the links for actually all Sabrent Rocket Q, so from 500 gigabytes, I forgot to mention 500 gigabytes at the beginning, so from 500 gigabytes, 1 terabyte, 2, 4, and finally 8 terabytes of storage, so you can decide what suits you best if you're hunting for a high capacity M.2 storage. That's all for today, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video and hope you, well, definitely seen something interesting which this SSD is. Maybe not because of the speed, since comparing it to Gen 4 it's quite slower, but then again the capacity is something wow. It really does go into a certain category for certain usage, and yeah, cool. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to hit the like button on the video, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. And I'll tell you why, because in 2 weeks or so, maybe even 3, I'm redoing my build at the back, which is unfortunately most of the time unable to be seen in the videos, but it's going to be with this one, without a doubt, and it's going to be full custom loop with a new graphic card and a bit custom parts, black tubes, gold fittings. Now I'm just giving you some ideas what it might look, but it will definitely be interesting, and I'll make it interesting for you guys. So yeah, again, don't forget to subscribe, like, notification bell, so you don't miss that one as well. The link for the Sabrent Rocket Q is down in the description below, and also don't forget to check other Sabrent videos right here, and well, you can subscribe right here as well. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching today's video. See you next time. Bye bye.